Let me ask you something personal. When you wake up in the morning, do you truly feel happy? Do you feel a quiet excitement about the day ahead? Or do you find yourself already dreading the rush, feeling lost in an endless chase for approval, likes, or temporary highs? You're not alone if you've felt that emptiness. In this fast-paced world, we're constantly pushed to achieve more, look better, be somebody. We think that once we get that new job, that perfect relationship, or that one big win, we'll finally feel fulfilled. But here's the hard truth. That kind of happiness never lasts. It fades as quickly as it comes, leaving us hungry for the next fix. What if I told you there's a different way? A timeless path that doesn't rely on the world's applause or external validation. A path that gives you true, lasting peace, no matter what life throws at you. This is where Stoicism comes in. An ancient philosophy born thousands of years ago, yet more relevant today than ever. Stoicism teaches us how to anchor ourselves deeply so we don't get thrown around by every wave of emotion or every unexpected challenge. It invites us to discover a joy that isn't fragile or fleeting, a joy rooted in self-respect and inner strength. There's a quote I love, "He who loves himself has no rival." Think about that for a second. When you genuinely love and accept yourself, you stop competing with others for love, for praise, for attention. You become your own greatest ally. Your energy shifts, and suddenly, instead of chasing, you start attracting opportunities, healthy relationships, real connections. Imagine waking up and feeling a quiet confidence, a calm certainty that you are enough as you are. Imagine facing your daily challenges not with anxiety, but with an inner steadiness that no setback can shake. That's the promise of Stoicism. It's not about suppressing your emotions or pretending you don't care. It's about learning to focus on what you can control, your thoughts, your actions, your perspective, and letting go of everything else. So, if you're tired of living on the edge of burnout, tired of trying to meet impossible expectations, this journey is for you. Together, we're going to explore ancient wisdom that helps us live with clarity, resilience, and real joy. Are you ready to step into a life where you don't have to beg for love or approval? A life where your peace is unshakable? Let's dive into this timeless guide and rediscover what it really means to be happy. From the inside out. Love and relationships through Stoicism. Have you ever found yourself begging for love? Holding on to someone so tightly that you forget who you are? Maybe you've stayed up all night waiting for a message that never came, or changed parts of yourself just to keep someone from leaving. We've all been there at some point, believing that if we just try harder, love will stay. But let's take a deep breath together. What if I told you that real love doesn't need to be chased or begged for? True love, according to Stoic philosophy, isn't about desperate pursuit or constant validation. It's about standing strong in who you are, radiating self-confidence, and letting love come to you naturally, like the moon pulled by the quiet force of gravity. When you truly understand yourself and respect your own worth, you create an energy that attracts the right people without any begging or games. Stoicism teaches us that love isn't a lightning bolt that strikes and fixes everything overnight. Real love is more like a garden. It needs patience, time, and consistent care. You can't just plant a seed and expect a full-grown tree the next day. Seneca once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." How many times have we imagined worst-case scenarios or created stories in our heads that make us cling to toxic relationships? We confuse passion with love, physical desire with emotional depth, and when that illusion shatters, the pain can be devastating. Let me share a story that might sound familiar. A young woman loved her boyfriend deeply. When he left her for someone else, she was so desperate to win him back that she spent days waiting in his city, borrowing money, calling and texting endlessly. In the end, all she got was heartbreak and emptiness. She lost her sense of self in the process, a painful but powerful lesson. Love yourself first. Before you can truly love another, you must know and respect yourself. Don't let love become a prison where you sacrifice your dignity for scraps of affection. When you love yourself, you set the standard for how others should treat you. You don't chase, you attract. You don't beg, you choose. Stoicism reminds us that a relationship built on trust, patience, and mutual respect is stronger than one based on fleeting excitement or external validation. Real love grows slowly, and it's worth the wait. So ask yourself today, are you building a love that uplifts you, or are you losing yourself in someone else's story? The answer might just set you free. Facing rejection and disappointment with Stoic wisdom. Let's talk about something we've all felt at some point. Rejection. It stings, doesn't it? You pour your heart into something or someone, and instead of the warmth you hope for, you get silence, distance, or a flat-out no. In moments like these, it's easy to feel like you've lost, like something was taken away from you. But what if I told you that rejection isn't really about loss at all? Epicurus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Imagine that for a second. The pain you feel isn't truly from the rejection itself. It's from the story you tell yourself afterward. You might think, "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never find someone who understands me." But those are just stories, not facts. Rejection, in truth, is a powerful teacher. It's an invitation to grow, to learn more about yourself, and to realign with what truly matters. Instead of asking, "Why didn't they choose me?" ask, "Was this really aligned with who I am and what I value?" We often chase people or situations based on surface-level attractions, beauty, charm, temporary excitement. But those things fade. Stoicism reminds us to look deeper. Find people who resonate with your core values, who match your spirit and vision for life. Take Marcus Aurelius and Faustina, for example. Their relationship wasn't built on shallow attraction, but on deep respect, patience, and unwavering commitment. They supported each other through political storms and personal tragedies, always standing side by side. That's the kind of bond we should strive for. Strong, rooted in honesty and mutual respect. When we face rejection, our first instinct might be to convince, to change ourselves, or to hold on even tighter. But here's the truth. You can't control someone else's feelings or choices. You can only control your own response. So what if you shifted your perspective? What if you saw rejection as redirection, a signpost guiding you closer to the relationships and opportunities that truly fit your soul? Think about this. Would you really want to force someone to stay, only to lose yourself in the process? Isn't it better to be loved for who you truly are, not for a version you mold to please someone else? Rejection doesn't define your worth. It refines your path. By embracing it, you build resilience, self-respect, and a clearer sense of who deserves to walk beside you on this journey. So next time you face a closed door, remember, maybe it wasn't meant for you. Maybe something better, something truer, is waiting. Trust that. Trust yourself. 10 lessons to build unbreakable mental strength. Have you ever wondered how some people stay so calm and centered, even when life throws them into chaos? Maybe you've seen someone lose their job, go through heartbreak, or face a big setback. Yet they still stand tall, unshaken. What's their secret? The answer lies in building mental strength. And today, I want to share with you 10 powerful lessons from ancient Stoicism that can help you build an inner fortress, so strong that no insult, no failure, and no unexpected storm can tear it down. Lesson 1. Know yourself deeply. Think of this as growing deep roots. If a tree's roots are shallow, the first strong wind will knock it over. But when you truly understand your core values, your strengths, and even your weaknesses, you become grounded. You become unmovable. Ask yourself regularly, what truly matters to me? What do I stand for? The more you explore, the stronger your inner foundation becomes. Lesson 2. Stop caring about what others think. How much energy do we waste worrying about other people's opinions? The truth is, the weight of their judgments can crush your spirit if you let it. But imagine the freedom you'd feel if you stopped needing external approval. Live according to your values, not someone else's expectations. Remember, you're the author of your story. Don't let someone else hold the pen. Lesson 3. Control what you can. Let go of what you can't. Life is unpredictable. Traffic jams, rude comments, sudden losses. We can't control any of these. But you can always control your reaction. You can choose to breathe, to respond with patience, to learn instead of lash out. As the Stoics say, focus on your circle of influence. You'll find peace waiting there. Lesson 4. Your perception shapes your reality. A setback can be a curse or a lesson. It depends on how you see it. The stories you tell yourself shape your emotional world. Instead of saying, "This is unfair," try asking, "What is this teaching me?" When you shift your perception, life's difficulties lose their power over you. Lesson 5. Your mind is your fortress. Picture your mind as a castle. You decide what gets through the gates. If you let in every negative comment or every passing fear, your castle will crumble. But if you guard it wisely, with self-awareness and self-respect, no external storm can breach your walls. Lesson 6. Don't expect bad people to act good. One big source of disappointment is expecting kindness from those who can't give it. When you accept people as they are, without illusions, you protect yourself from endless frustration. It doesn't mean tolerating bad behavior. It means not letting it steal your peace. Lesson 7. Choose compassion over revenge. When someone hurts us, our first instinct is often to strike back, but revenge traps us in an endless cycle of bitterness. Kindness, on the other hand, frees us. It doesn't mean you allow mistreatment. It means you rise above it, choosing peace over poison. Think of compassion as your secret superpower that breaks the chain of negativity. Lesson 8. Visualize the worst. Negative visualization. This might sound strange at first, but imagine losing something you love, your job, your health, a relationship. Why think of such dark scenarios? Because it makes you grateful for what you have now. It prepares your mind, making you more resilient when real hardships come. It's not about living in fear. It's about appreciating the present more deeply. Lesson 9. Reflect and meditate. Daily reflection isn't just for monks on mountaintops. Take time to ask, how did I react today? What could I have done better? Meditation gives you space to observe your emotions without judgment. Over time, you'll stop reacting impulsively and start responding with intention and calm. Lesson 10. Embrace change. Everything in life, even pain, even insults, is temporary. The Stoics remind us, this too shall pass. When you accept that nothing lasts forever, you stop clinging to the good and fearing the bad. You learn to flow with life's rhythms instead of fighting them. So, which lesson speaks to you the most? Imagine applying even one of these daily. Slowly, you'll notice that your spirit feels lighter, your mind feels clearer, and your heart feels stronger. You'll find yourself less reactive, more centered, and more alive in every moment. Life is unpredictable, but your inner world can be your steady anchor. Build it, protect it, and watch as your outer world begins to change in beautiful, unexpected ways. The core principles for a meaningful life. Have you ever felt like life keeps pushing you around, like you're constantly trying to swim against an endless current? You try to control everything, your career, your relationships, even small daily events, only to find yourself exhausted and unfulfilled. The ancient Stoics understood this struggle deeply. They left us powerful principles, timeless reminders that can guide us back to what really matters. Today, I want to share 4 of their most profound teachings with you. Each one has the power to shift your entire perspective and help you build a life that feels truly yours. First, amor fati, love your fate. What if I told you that instead of resisting life's challenges, you could learn to embrace them? Amor fati invites us to welcome every event, good or bad, as an essential part of our growth. Imagine seeing every obstacle not as a punishment, but as an opportunity to evolve. Think about a time when something unexpected happened. Maybe you lost a job or went through a tough breakup. In the moment, it felt devastating. But looking back, didn't it lead you to new paths, new insights, maybe even new strengths you didn't know you had? When you truly practice amor fati, you stop fighting life and start dancing with it. Every twist becomes a step in your unique choreography. You begin to say, yes, this too is part of my journey. Second, memento mori, remember that you will die. I know it sounds dark at first, but it's not about fear, it's about awakening. Memento mori reminds us that our time is limited. We often live as if we have endless tomorrows, pushing our dreams aside, postponing apologies, delaying joy. What would change if you knew this week could be your last? Would you finally start that project you've been putting off? Tell someone you love them? Or simply take a walk and truly notice the sunset? This principle encourages us to live with urgency and presence, to cherish each moment as a precious, fleeting gift. When you carry the awareness of your mortality, you stop wasting time on things that don't align with your soul. Third, the dichotomy of control. This is one of my favorite Stoic ideas because it's so simple, yet so liberating. The Stoics teach us that life is divided into two categories: things we can control and things we cannot. We can't control other people's opinions, the weather, or sudden misfortunes. But we can always control our own actions, our responses, and our mindset. Imagine trying to steer a boat in a storm. You can't change the wind or the waves, but you can adjust your sails. You can choose your direction. By focusing on what you can control, you reclaim your power and release endless frustration. Next time you feel overwhelmed, ask yourself, is this within my control? If not, let it go. Focus on what you can influence: your effort, your kindness, your integrity. Finally, virtue is the only true good. In a world obsessed with success, appearance, and possessions, this is a radical idea. The Stoics believed that external things don't define a good life. Virtue does. What is virtue? It's living in alignment with your highest values: courage, honesty, compassion, integrity. When you build your life around virtue, you create an inner wealth that no one can take from you. You might lose money, status, or relationships, but if you stay true to your principles, you'll always have a steady foundation. Think about people you admire most. It's not their fame or their wealth that inspires you. It's their character, their unwavering kindness, their bravery in hard times, their commitment to doing what's right even when it's hard. Imagine a life where your biggest priority isn't to impress others, but to become someone you're truly proud of. A life where each decision is guided by the question, is this aligned with my deepest values? When you live this way, you gain something priceless: self-respect. And with self-respect comes peace, no matter what life throws at you. So, let's recap. Embrace every twist of fate with amor fati. Live each day fully with memento mori. Focus on your power with the dichotomy of control, and anchor yourself in virtue. Which of these principles speaks to you most today? Maybe you needed a reminder to let go, to live bolder, or to return to what truly matters. Life is unpredictable, but with these timeless teachings, you can navigate it with strength, grace, and deep inner joy. The art of detachment and letting go. Have you ever felt stuck in a relationship or situation that drains you, but you keep holding on because you're afraid of what might happen if you let go? Maybe it's a friend who constantly crosses your boundaries, a partner who no longer supports your growth, or even a social circle that leaves you feeling unseen and unheard. We often cling to what's familiar, even when it's hurting us, because the unknown feels scarier than discomfort. But what if stepping back could be the most powerful act of self-love you ever make? Sometimes the first and most important step is to temporarily step away. Give yourself space to breathe, to reflect, and to listen to what your heart is really trying to tell you. Imagine going on a quiet retreat alone, or even just taking a weekend offline. When you're away from the noise, you start to hear your own truth again. While you're in this space, ask yourself, is this relationship or situation helping me grow? Does it bring out the best in you, or do you find yourself shrinking to fit someone else's expectations? True connections are meant to support your growth, not stunt it. And you don't have to figure this all out alone. Find someone you deeply trust, a close friend, a mentor, a therapist, and open up. There's immense healing power in sharing your thoughts out loud with someone who listens without judgment. It's like holding up a mirror to your soul. Another crucial piece is learning to control your emotions rather than letting them control you. We can't always control what happens, but we can choose how we respond. Next time you feel overwhelmed or pulled into someone else's drama, pause and breathe. Remember that you get to decide which emotions you invite in and which ones you let pass by. Before making any big decisions, take time to think about the long-term consequences. Will holding on to this relationship bring you more peace or more pain in the future? Visualize your life in 1 year, 5 years. Is this connection still there? And if so, is it lifting you up or holding you back? In today's world, another big step toward healthy detachment is reducing your social media consumption. We scroll endlessly, comparing our lives to filtered snapshots of others, feeding insecurities, and losing touch with our real selves. By stepping back from the constant noise online, you create room to reconnect with your actual needs and desires. Lastly, focus on your essential needs, the things that truly nurture your soul. Think of your life as a garden. You only have so much space and energy to water certain plants. What do you want to grow? Relationships that feed your spirit? Hobbies that ignite your creativity? Experiences that make you feel alive? Learning to detach doesn't mean you stop caring or isolate yourself from the world. It means choosing to care about yourself first, so you can show up stronger and more authentic in every area of your life. It's about releasing what no longer serves you so you can welcome what truly aligns with your soul. I know this isn't easy. Letting go can feel like standing on the edge of a cliff, unsure of what comes next. But remember, growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens when you dare to step away from what's safe and familiar and move toward what feels true. So today, I invite you to ask yourself, what am I holding on to that I need to release? What would my life look like if I had the courage to create space for new, healthier connections and experiences? By practicing detachment, you're not losing yourself. You're finding your way back home to who you really are. And in that space, you'll discover a deep, unshakable peace and the freedom to live life on your own terms. Finding inner peace, freedom, and virtue. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you're living your life on someone else's terms? Like you're constantly performing, chasing love, chasing approval, bending yourself into shapes that don't feel true just to be enough in someone else's eyes? We've all been there. We've all felt that tug to fit in, to be liked, to be chosen. But here's the truth. Every time you twist yourself to meet someone else's expectations, you drift further from your own soul. You lose touch with your deepest needs, your quiet joys, your authentic self. What if I told you that you don't have to beg for love or run after validation anymore? That the peace you've been searching for isn't out there. It's already within you, waiting for you to come home to it. When you stop begging for love, something beautiful happens. You start attracting the right people and opportunities naturally. You no longer need to convince anyone of your worth. You simply exist as you are. And that is enough. Living with inner peace means no longer being controlled by the shifting tides of praise and criticism. You become like a mountain, strong, steady, and unmoved by passing storms. People might come and go, opinions might change, but your center stays intact. And how do we build that center? By choosing to live a life anchored in virtue, mindfulness, and self-mastery. Virtue isn't about being perfect or morally superior. It's about choosing honesty when lying would be easier, choosing kindness when bitterness tempts you, choosing courage when fear whispers in your ear. Virtue is a daily practice, a compass that helps you navigate the complexities of life with integrity and grace. Mindfulness invites us to slow down and really live in each moment, not just to exist, but to truly savor it. The taste of your morning coffee, the warmth of sunlight on your face, the simple joy of breathing deeply. These moments aren't small. They're life itself. Self-mastery is about reclaiming your power. Instead of letting your emotions drive you off course, you learn to observe them, understand them, and choose your response with intention. You become the author of your reactions, the sculptor of your own spirit. Imagine a life where you wake up each day feeling grounded and free. You no longer measure your worth by someone else's love or a stranger's comment online. You stand in your own light, proud and unshaken. This doesn't mean life will suddenly be perfect. You'll still face losses, disappointments, and unexpected twists. But instead of breaking you, these experiences will become opportunities to grow stronger, wiser, and more compassionate toward yourself and others. When you root yourself in virtue and mindfulness, you discover a kind of freedom no external success can give you. You're free because your happiness no longer depends on the next big achievement or someone else's approval. You carry your peace inside you, wherever you go. So, I invite you today, stop chasing, stop begging, stop twisting yourself into versions you don't recognize. Return to your center. Build your life on the unshakable foundation of virtue, presence, and self-respect. Start small. Maybe today you choose to respond with patience instead of anger. Maybe you pause before you speak and ask, is this aligned with my values? Maybe you simply take a quiet moment to breathe and feel grateful for this exact moment. Over time, these small choices add up. They weave together a life of depth and beauty, a life where you don't just exist, but truly live. And in that life, you'll find something more valuable than all the love and praise you could ever chase: true freedom, unbreakable peace, and a profound sense of self-worth. So tell me, are you ready to come home to yourself, to live freely, peacefully, and fully, no longer as a performer but as the author of your own story? If you're nodding yes right now, know this: the journey starts with one choice, one breath, one moment of honesty with yourself, and I promise, you're more than strong enough to take it.